Hello, beloved. With so much going on in our world right now, and all of the chaos and all of the noise, and for those of us who have been in relationships rife with narcissistic abuse, we know how these someone in this position of fleeting power, how in their attempt to bully and to maintain dominance over you, they create a lot of drama, chaos, and noise. And you're dealing with one thing, you can't even deal with the one thing, and then you're dealing with the other, and so forth and so forth. Recognize this in the spaces where that behavior shows up. It's important when there's so much chaos and the storms are raging, and we want to know, well, what is important right now? Where should my focus be? What is it that matters? Everybody has a different take. Thank goodness for that, because strong opinion, strong perspective makes for a strong nation. And it's about time that we are not sheep just aimlessly, blindly following what everybody else is doing. We're asking the right questions. It takes courage. What is it that we should focus on? What matters right now? What is the right perspective? What should we be cautious about? Should we be afraid of AI and the impact that is going to have on our communities? Should we be afraid of the aliens? Are they about to invade us? Should we be afraid of the leaders? Can we trust that they have our best interest at heart, that everything's going to work out quite fine? What is it that we need to watch out for? Fear. Fear is the enemy. Fear is the only thing that we want to not avoid, but that we want to make a different choice about. We want to replace that with something else, whether that is knowledge, information, whether that is opening ourselves up to more perspective, finding a way to stop giving our power away. What everybody else does, they're going to keep doing. But the reality in which other things, other people, leaders, people of power, people with a lot of money have so much power over our happiness, our well-being, and our reality is an illusion. And if we buy into it and we feed that illusion with our fear, it becomes more vivid. It must be so. So we don't want to turn away from, be ignorant to the realities around us. Knowledge is power if we know how to meet that information. And especially if we have the capacity to meet it with wisdom. We don't always have to get it right in the first go. But this is a very, very dynamic time in our reality. And the world seems to be crazier than it's ever been. And depending on who you speak to, some will say the world is going mad and it's falling apart and it's falling into an abyss. And others will say it's the best time to be alive. Great things are happening. This chaos signifies change, long-awaited change. Systems collapsing, they're an indication of that change. What happens when our leaders, when our leadership, when they're bad? What happens? We start to look elsewhere. We start to look in the mirror. We start to calibrate to and give space to autonomy, independence, freedom. What happens when the economy collapses or the economy takes a hit? We find other things in life to value. We start to pay attention to our communities, our structures, our health, the things that exist long after that which is our chosen currency for the time dwindles, ebbs and flows. We allow for our currency on our planet to change. Perhaps ushering in one that is more balanced. What happens when AI creates takes our jobs? I'm sure when machinery came about, that was a similar fear. What happens when AI replaces our relationships? We create space for a higher level of consciousness and give space to our unique talents and purpose. And we elevate in our understanding of authentic connections and values. So the value of the individual, your talent, your gift is elevated. Because we just like you gain a palate for fine cuisine when you might have grown up on a lot of junk food, we develop a keen awareness of authentic relationships, emotional connections, and we start to invest the time and the energy to develop ourselves in that way. We become more deliberate about where we put our money, where we invest our time. We begin to value one another's talents, offerings, so much more. Everything that is available to us right now, they're tools. And as a new generation ushers in a new wave of beings into their new technology, which is these bodies, as we upgrade, we give birth to technology, bodies that hold consciousness of our children, and they're more advanced. And so with their advancement, they're going to close a gap for new evolution, and so naturally their tools must match that. If you are still in a place of fear, then you are still in a place of being the student of seeking and of searching, and that is a wonderful place to be. But the world is shifting. And with this great divergence that we are finding, so many different realities coming into place, so many different perspectives, it is a dynamic time for massive shift to create space for the world that we've been calling for, that is worth having. And you do not contribute to the creation of that by giving your power away and by feeding that which seems to hold power over you with your fear. I got a beautiful message, channeled message from the sun, and I'm going to share that in another video. I think it's so fitting for our time right now. Love and light.